been realized. My daughter's favorite musical artist is Kesha. And if you don't know who Kesha is, I picture a musical version of a Bratz doll, only drunk. I don't know what's more scary, the fact that she listens to it or that I sing it. You know, I don't think that any 40-year-old man should be singing Kesha, but I do. I'm a 40-year-old man that sings Kesha. Don't stop, make it pop, DJ. Okay, so my daughter, she ended up duping her grandmother into buying a Bratz doll. Some brats out there, I get it. But you know, she told her, "Hey, Grandma, you know, I saw the movie with my mom, you know, and that was my daughter's smart, you know, and when I say smart, I mean well marketed too." And she, you know, the real story was that we were tired, we were, you know, whittled down, and my daughter found, you know, the phone and used YouTube voice recognition. You know, like, Siri, give me terrible shows. You know, that was what happened. And you know, I leaned over to her mom. I was like, you know that she hasn't seen this before, right? Like, yeah, it'll be fine. It'll be fine. And it was fine. Fine like cocaine. Now our house is filling with Barbie skate dress. You know, so one Bratz doll at a time. I ended up, I'm inadequate and have a poor self-image. You know that. I know. Oh, that's sad. Yeah. You know, that's why I try to teach lessons. You know, and show people that I'm right. You know, my wife caught me on this the other day. She's like, because I was telling her how awesome I was right on something, and she peered right through my argument and looked directly at my self-esteem and said, "How does it feel to be right?" You know, it's like, you know, all of a sudden my ledge of self-importance was karate chopped from under me. I was like, not very good. Well, you know, 'cause I felt like I was 9 years old and someone just asked me, "How does it feel to be caught lying?" Not very good. I found showing my wife that I'm right is a lot like showing my wife that I'm a prick. That might be true, but it's certainly unnecessary. So, but one time I turned it around on her. She was like, you know, she was saying how right she was on something, and I was like, oh, how does it feel to be right? And she again looked directly at me and said, "Pretty damn good." But my mom, she loves dishing the latest scoop. She's like, you know, and I hate it because it's always a shitty scoop. I'm like, "Mom, why not talk nice about someone else for a change?" You know, she's like, "Did you hear about Dorothy Bosco's son?" You know, there's people that throw people under the bus. My mom just likes to drive the bus. So, yeah, and then I don't know what to do. Like, some of the terms she throws out, I don't know what to do with. She's like, "Didn't you hear about Dorothy Bosco's son and how he's such a loser?" I'm like, it's like, you know, I don't know what to do with that term, because it's not like loser is like a bad word, but it's like, you know, it's like the third grade term is just highly toxic. And it like sticks right here. I'm like, Mom. She's like, "He is. Let me tell you why." And that's time well spent. That's a good time. You know, there's the X generation, there's the Y generation. My mom, she's before that, so it's like the W generation. And W for, would you just let me judge you? You know, and I was like, loser! So speaking of time well spent, I went to the DMV. I was like, I'm due for some plastic seeding and airborne tuberculosis. I'm ready for that, you know. And I hadn't been there in a while, and I remembered back. I was like, the last time I was here, I didn't have a smartphone. How did I survive? I was like, now I have time to clear 32 levels of Candy Crush. While not smelling the woman with glaucoma. You know, just. So I was there because my license had expired. And, if you ever have your ID expired, you know, that's, every grocery clerk needs to tell you exactly what they think of you. They're like, this is expired. I'm like, I know, I'm very sorry. She's like, loser. So I hadn't been there in 10 years, and you know the dust on the wall hanging still was there from the 80s. Nothing had changed, but I did have a new appreciation of the color on the walls because I'd been cleaning up my daughter's art supplies, and I found a crayon that was entitled DMV Gray. You know, and I was like, what do you use this for? She's like, I use that color when I want my pictures to both conform and be punished. So my hands, they were filled with mail, hoping that I would, you know, one of them would prove my existence. And that was when it hit me. I realized they might not give me my license. You know, and if that happened, I was going to be next on under my mother's bus. I was like, you know, and then but I think the anxiety was because I was breathing the air next to me, you know, the 16-year-old, you know, his fear. You know, I'm about to, you know, about to take the test. You know, and it smelled like, you know, hopelessness and a waft of stale wheat thins. Or was that glaucoma woman? I'm not sure. Regardless, it was there. I realized, I was like, I used to think that hope was eternal. But now I know it goes to die at the DMV. So, oh man. Okay, so. So my daughter, she's 5, and she informs me, Daddy, I signed myself up for T-ball. It starts tomorrow, and so we need to go get pants and shoes that match Audrey and Rochelle. I'm like, I'm starting to learn that girls' sports is not so much run, but runway. And, you know, so now we're having games. And I think we're all learning what T-ball is. I'm like, you know, because I think what it is it's you get twice as many kids over to play a game that nobody knows what they're doing and nobody wins. You know, and I get to pay for the fashion. You know what I'm going to see? I'm going to see crying. That's what I'm going to see. And so my daughter's team is all girls, and we go to our first game. And the game and the opposing team is all boys. And I start to panic a little bit because they can both throw and catch. And the extent that my daughter's team is into baseball, they're like, Audrey, check them out. Game day nails. And so, you know, I'm getting ready for the crying. And, but then I find out that she's 4th in the lineup, which means that she's the ringer, which means that if the bases are loaded and she knocks a home run, she's going to bring them all home, and something inside me snaps. I'm like, I start rummaging through a bag, trying to find team colors, and then put on a hat and run out to the field and to start yelling at children Go! I don't know what happened to me, but I think I tasted a new type of crack. It tasted like Little League Dad. And I can see how it could throw you over the edge. Because I remember when I was 7 years old, my coach, Jeff Grimm's dad, I remember the yelling and the frustrated anger, just like took over the edge. I remember as a 7-year-old thinking to myself, pump the brakes, Jeff Grimm's dad! Pump the brakes! Why the fury? And there's so many beautiful dandelions about. So I could see how you could get caught in the crack of the Little League. Because I was having a hard time finding elements to 2-4-6-8 appreciate. Other than the destruction of the other team, the alligators. But thankfully, Coach, he ended up gathering us up and circling us up and told us, good job, team. We ended up doing all 4 elements of baseball. We did the hitting, the running, the throwing, the catching. But I wanna think one thing to you guys. The opposing team, the alligators, all boys, were the first ones to start crying. Good game!